Need I say more? What's going on, guys? Today we have my M1A that you saw recently on this channel, my M1A SOCOM, the CQB, in a Sage Dynamics chassis and some new, additions outfitted on the gun that we'll get a little bit more into later on the video. I had told y'all I wanted to do something different. I wanted to get it out of that stock, which I might need to even sell that stock down the road and to make some of that money back from this. But I was lucky enough to get one of the last Sage chassis from Fulton Armory that I went to Athens and picked it up because these things sell like hotcakes, and this specific color is a very high demand color that from Fulton Armory, they say they're the only ones that get this specific color. So hey, I'll hold them to it, and for the most part, seeing on Reddit and on the internet, I haven't really seen anybody else getting them except for them. But we got this in, and I installed this all myself, which I'm very happy about because it's not as easy as setting. I mean, ARs in general, they're not hard once you get the hang of it. This was a little bit different because you had to take off, and forgive me, when it comes to the M1A, I don't know all the component specific names. So I'm gonna say stuff, I'm more than likely gonna be wrong, okay? Forgive me, but taking off the top receiver, I wanna say, and then you have to take off the gas block, the muzzle. You gotta take all this, pretty much break everything apart in order to fit this in, because there's things in here like a barrel lock right here that keeps everything in the chassis all fixed and nice together and giving you better accuracy in reality as well. Now, you may ask yourself, Tony, why did you put this extreme scope on a 16-inch, SOCOM? It deserves like a red dot or anything. You'll be straight, or even the sights. Well, why not? It is what it is. This specifically is the Viper PST. This is a Gen 1 that I found for a great deal, a 2.5 to, I believe, a 10. So for that reasoning, at 2.5, I'm still shooting as if it's a red dot. And if I want to go up to a 10 and try to reach out a little bit more, hey, I have the option. So that's kind of why I did it. 2.5, I felt like it's still red dot type of territory if I want to get close in. And if I want to try to reach out to 100 or maybe even 203, I still have the capabilities. And this is a sunshade. It's not, this is the actual scope length. I like the look of the sunshade. It makes it look a little bit, bigger. I just like it. I like the look, forgive me. But at the same time, also the reason why I like the sunshade is because when you have it screwed on, all this is hollow, right? So there's no risk of like your fingers or anything touching the actual lens. So it just gives you more protection, I feel like, in the lens getting fingerprints or scratched or anything. You have a protection, and it's why not. Vortex rings on here, and we also have an OG, an older version, which someone told me at least, and I checked to make sure because I've seen fakes as well, but this for the most part was legit, checked out and all that. This is a commercial Sage chassis, or Sage, my bad, cantilever mount that I found on the internet for a very good price. It's really good. At first I was just, having the scope. I had a EBR little stick out right here, EBR clip right here, and then I would just put these rings on, one on the EBR clip and one on the front here. And I had a little gap that, I just didn't like. And at the same time, when the rounds shot out, I could possibly have rounds hitting the bottom of the scope. So I was searching. I found some risers that closed the gap as well that were a little bit cheap and cheapo. And I was like, no, I can't go half-ass on this build. So I went with the Sage chassis cantilever that does its job. It cantilever everything's there good together, good riser, good sight height, and all the above. Can't go wrong whatsoever. Why I went with the 16-inch? Because down the road I would love to add a muzzle device on here and even run it. I would like to have a silencer on here, adding on even more weight. We'll get to that a little bit later, but I like that idea of that for this gun in particular. So even with that, adding that silencer to it, it was gonna, it's gonna increase the length even more. So something like a Scout Squad or a Scout Squad would have been my next thing that I would have got. It just would have made things even more crazy in my opinion. So that's why I went with the 16-inch, and I'll be honest as well. I think even more so I went with it is because finding the Scout Squad was harder than finding a CQB SOCOM. It was two things, that and that. I couldn't find one, so I was like, you know what? I'll just get a SOCOM, go from there. I've seen, articles on people that put their CQBs in this chassis with the silencer. It was no issue whatsoever. In order to add a silencer though, I'm gonna have to take this off, remove the muzzle device, and install a muzzle device that has a threaded adapter on it, which then you could put on any type of, you know, muzzle you would want. I'll probably even, in the meantime, I would want to probably put something different instead of this brake. I'm not a fan of this brake. It's extremely loud. I don't feel like it does, I don't like it. I don't like it. This is my opinion. Maybe a war comp or something like that. At the same time, I've heard with war comps, you know, they're not really good with suppressors. So if I buy a war comp, I will have to switch it out again if I end up putting a silencer on there. It's a whole bunch of things that come into mind. This thing though, the build itself, amazing. The bipod, can I be honest? It's a cheapo one. I think it's a C-Clive or C-Live, whatever you call it. I own recently got a Accu strut or Atlas. I have Magpul as well. I just didn't add anything on this one yet. And at the same time, you know, this is not something I'm gonna be taking to precision competitions and taking this to war with me. So I just was like, you know what, I'll take my time on purchasing a bipod that, you know, for the most part, this can do the job. It's pretty decent. I'm not really worried about it right now. I love the stock, amazing. I love the adjustments, it's amazing. I usually keep it at 3, which is, I think, is this 1, 2, yeah, at 3. And then this itself, another thing, adjustment as far as cheek riser. I think I have it all the way up, or maybe I don't, I can't remember. I didn't even know, like, I was trying to figure out how to do this at first. You lift this up, but then you also gotta like get a bullet and poke it in there to rise it up and down. So it's meant for, like, you know, using bullets. That's, I guess, on the field, how they rock with it. Mags, real nice. This is a 20 round, I believe, or 25. I can't remember exactly. I have the other one that originally came with it, but I like to poke out a little bit, you feel me? So it is what it is. And yes, YouTube, that's not a 30 round magazine, so understand, even though I think you guys recently changed those rules. But yeah, overall, solid piece. I have the PST Gen 2. I got it on another build I haven't showed y'all yet, which we'll get into down very soon. I almost showed that one, but I remembered I've shot this one many a times, like in this new chassis. I was like, you know what? It's time to give you guys an update. Now, can I be 100% honest? It's a 16-inch, right? When I took it out the first time in the original stock, my bullets were going everywhere. Now, the barrel itself was also heating up, and I was chasing my 0. I took it again once in the new chassis, and for the most part, I got it sighted in for 100 yards. I took it in, I got a target that you put at 25. You hit that, you know, you aim here, impact there type of ordeal, and I was hitting 100, but I have not taken this to the 100 yards range, indoor range that I got to like completely zero this in at 100. So that would be my next step, and I'm more than likely gonna do that this week. I have this and 2 other guns I'm gonna go to the range with, get some content, and I wanna really see where I can get these at as far as, you know, precision wise. Like, I'm not expecting sub MOA or any of that, whether, you know, I heard people will be able to get that, but if I can get it in a good vicinity, I'm happy, especially with this only being 16 inches. I've heard sub MOA, I've heard some people get 1, I heard various different things. Let me know what you think this is capable of, or if you have a SOCOM CQB, what you've been able to hit on paper. I will follow up with you guys on that ASAP. I didn't buy this for precision though at the end of the day. So with that being said, yeah, I didn't buy this more so for precision. I bought this to have fun with, but I would like it to be precise as possible. I would like to know that my scope is at the precise, you know, good accuracy. You feel me? So to each his own. Feel free to let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section as far as ammo types. I bought some match ammo for 308 for another rifle, but I will use some of that just to kind of get this as good as I can. And hey, feel free to give me your guys' thoughts and opinions, but this is ASAP. And also, I sent this gun in. Remember, this is the same gun I had to send into Springfield. They changed out the OP rod. They fixed a lot of things. And mainly because this right here, this was like locking back here. That don't happen no more. There's no more. And actually, when I was putting this in, when I put this in its chassis, I saw it myself. It was trying to lock up again in this chassis. And it was due to an alignment issue. This rod right here and this little chunk of metal, if it's not perfectly centered in, it will lock up. It will like slide and put grit against the metals in there, the metal components. And I found out that that was, you know, one of the main reasons. A1. Extremely heavy, a big boy, but I like it. But it's not as heavy as my Tika, I ain't gonna lie. But man, I mean, you can't sit here and tell me that I'm not in Call of Duty now. I'm in the game. They need me. Oh my God. I'm looking at myself. And that's a good thumbnail right there, chat. Yeah, man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Yeah, the Springfield SOCOM and a Sage chassis. Let me know you guys' thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. I love y'all. I'm out. Peace.